On Sports Central, the coaches back-to-back for In Vogue. Top people in two stories.
On 882 6PR.
As we head down Freo way, Ross Lyon joins us. G'day, Roscoe.
Good, Brad.
How did you enjoy your minute off?
It was nice. It was nice.
How did you
Went
spend
down
it?
and watched Swan Districts and Peel yesterday, so had a bit of an outing down there. But yeah, otherwise Friday and Saturday, it was good.
It's a brutal game. The poor old coach of Peel's got the lemon and sauce.
Tough business, isn't it? It's easy, everyone be doing it.
Yeah.
Now, mate, I've got to ask you, Mark Duffield gave his Freo mid-season report card today, and I was interested because he gave about 17 of your players, either A's or B's, whether they be B minuses or B pluses, and he only gave the Eagles about 15. They got 15 A's and B's, so he's rated a lot of your blokes higher than the Eagles, and they've lost a couple of games, and you're 6-5 at the moment.
I'd rather have the lesser rating and the more wins on the point, to tell the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that you must be sitting with right now, and you look back and you reflect on your first half of the season and you look at your run home. And when I look at your run home, Ross, that looks a lot easier than what you've already encountered.
Yeah, I don't look too far ahead. We're aware incredibly. Well, they're all tough, but, early Geelong and, a lot of finalists early. But we certainly, after going to Melbourne and getting a real meritorious victory, we look ahead with optimism and we understand what we need to work on, but we're confident our best is pretty good and we're just going to aim for consistency to produce it.
Clearly that was your best win. How did you savour it? How long did you savour it for? And what was the plan in the week off? Obviously a few players needed to freshen up and niggling injuries, as most teams do at this point in time, or what did you do with the majority of the players? Did you keep them up to the mark? Because obviously you've got another big game coming this week.
Yeah, huge this week against Essendon. I think they've lost 3 under 18 points. So they're obviously in good nick. In savouring the victory, really enjoyed hearing the boys sing the song with a lot of passion and, a lot of enjoyment there. And then straight away, they flew out and they enjoyed their company together. I think they got together sort of Sunday and had a bit of a get together, and then they was set a program. I stayed in Melbourne and went through the under-18 prospects with Brad Lloyd and his team and Chris Bond, so no rest for the wicked. But certainly the players, we aimed to physically keep them ticking over, but they had their own program basically post-Tuesday. And we had full compliance because they all had the GPS on, so they all delivered on working hard away from the club, but they had a mental rest, and the first time I saw them was today, bar the 17 players that kept going in the waffle. So, yeah, we're really expectant that they come back fresh and hungry, and on the surface they seem really enthusiastic about this week's clash.
You've won at the MCG, you've won at Etihad, you've played 2 crap games up until the midway part of this season. And look, when I try to do this ladder predictor, Ross, and you put in the teams who you're going to play, and then you put them up against every other team, but you bowl over Essendon here at home, where you'd be liking, I think, to win more games, because, let's face it, you've been a bit 50-50 here.
Not great, yeah.
So you win this game, all of a sudden then you put the pressure back on those other teams to beat sides that are in and around or above them.
Yeah, certainly. It's really important to win at Patterson. To be 3-3 is disappointing, and 2, the Carlton game probably accuracy, and Adelaide poor start and then work back into it. So, yeah, I think we've had 2 really horrendous 4 quarters against Hawthorn and second half against the Eagles. But out of the Eagles loss, we took a lot out of it, what we needed to keep in front of the ball. And really the next week against Adelaide, we saw a fair bit of that for 3 quarters. And then against Richmond in the wet were really good. So out of that loss, we learn a lot. And as long as we can keep that lesson in the forefront and allows us to move the ball really well with the structure in front of the ball and we keep everything else, I think we're going to be really competitive. And, and we'd like to add, Fife on the run home and Morabito on the run home, and players like Pitt and Walters are really pushing in, and Kepler Bradley. So, and Nick Lower. So there's a bit to like going forward. But, yeah, all the focus will be tomorrow's training session and preparing for Essendon.
You lost Sandy, obviously, for some time, indefinitely. Now, how did Zach Clark go, and is he an automatic call-up?
No, he's not automatic. He's certainly not automatic. He's vying with Kepler Bradley, who's really good as well. But Zach, in saying that, Zach Clark and both Kepler played really well on the weekend. I didn't see the games, but their reports were really positive. And I just went down and, as I said, watched Swan and Peel, because I thought we had a number of young players and players pushing up like Spur and Sheridan and Walters, Fawkes was down there, and Morabito. So, there's a bit to sort of sort through at match committee this week, no doubt.
Did you learn something about Jono Griffin and what he gave you after Sandy was subbed out of the game?
Yeah, look, I've been really positive about John, and we picked the two of them against West Coast, and then we thought the next week against Adelaide wasn't the right thing, but we certainly went with that combination, even though it was raining at the MCG Interstate. So we had a fair bit of belief in John anyway, but come at the moment, come at the man. So it was fantastic that he stood up, and our clearance work was really good, and should give everyone a bit of belief that John can get the job done. But from here, one swallow doesn't make a summer, so he's got to dig in, against Ryder and Bell Chambers this week and get it done.
When your blokes put their heads on and go to work, they play well, don't they?
Yeah. Well, that's the challenge, isn't it? I mean, At this level, you talk about physical talents, but it's the mental toughness and durability that separates a lot of teams. And it's been quarters that have hurt us: a quarter against Adelaide, a quarter against Sydney, a quarter against Carlton. So really, the weekend was outside the first 5 minutes where it wasn't looking great. Was our best four-quarter performance. So we get a bit out of that to go to Melbourne MCG where we hadn't won the last 27 appearances. You get confidence out of action, and there's no doubt the players know that they can travel and win, and I'm sure that they want to do the same in front of their fans and members at home.
Have you tracked a pattern of Essendon's losses? Is there any one given facet of the game that sticks out in your mind that you think, well, if we can nail this bit, there's a good chance that they're going to be playing catch-up footy for most of the day?
Well, they're very contested ball around the clearances, big strong bodies in Hocking and Watson, and so the inside work and their ruckman. Look, against Sydney, they had 72 entries, so they didn't do a lot wrong. Sydney defended exceptionally well and caught them on the rebound a bit. So I'm sure they will have learned from that. They're very even, a lot of spread of run and skill. So the big one is teams that go well have a big strong contribution across the board, and we're not going to do it with one or two. Like Pav's not going to kick 6 every week, and Stephen Hill's not going to have 8 clearances every week. So we're looking for a real even performance, and trying to build on what we had against Richmond.
How frustrating is it when blokes are so up and down, when you know you've got talent and you know that they are better maybe than what they put out, but to try and get that even, consistent performance?
Yeah, well, that's why most coaches and, you focus on consistent effort. I don't want to, I don't really respect or value talent that much. Everyone's got a bit of it, particularly at the elite level. So, as you know, it's the competitors and the fierce concentrators and preparers that can get it done under pressure, and that's what we value, and would like to think our selection's really reflecting those values, and that's why they were able to deliver under pressure last week.
Under the wide expanses of Subi, do you have the philosophy of going to the ball winner or the ball receiver when you're trying to dismantle?
Oh, well, it depends where, if you can get an influence. Look, in world sport, transition's the moment, isn't it? So when it turns over, are you attacking or defending? And it's a decision-making sport. So can I influence the contest? If I can, I go. And if I can't influence the contest, I'll either run the receiver or close down the receiver. So it's not complicated, but the best teams have the most players that make the best decisions quickly.
It's a decision your team's got to make.
Yeah, and look, we're getting better at that, and when to run and receive, when to close down, and when to compete. So, and that's why trading, you try and make those decision-making exercises. And, we're all really starting to get on the one page and under pressure being instinctive. There was not that we won in Melbourne, it was more the way we went about it.
Sure.
The contested ball, and I thought our ball use was up-tempo for the conditions, and, we were able to be quite effective with the ball. And we pressured Richmond really well, who had been scoring off turnover heavily. And we just found we weren't in between a lot. We're in good position. So, yeah, I'm as upbeat as I've been probably on us improving in the manner that we want to.
Now, when you had to stay in Melbourne and the horns grew out of your head because there's no rest for the wicked, who did you...
I had a
no names, but what type of player did you identify from the 18-18s championship competition that you would like?
Yeah, we look, where it's gone is it's like other team sports, but it's about total football. So that real specialist, that's what a steel side bottom. He can compete, he can run, he can kick it. those players that can do it all are the ones we really like. So they become really flexible and they're really interchangeable. So, but really what it was Brad Lloyd and his team gave me a rundown of the, they grade them, A, B, C's or 1, 2s, 3s, and they'll move, but trying to show me who they rate the highest and then through down to about, pick 40, 45, where they got them. So you're starting to get a feel for the profile they have on them, their background, are they at school, are they working, but more importantly, are they an inside ball winner? Is it, what's their, real attribute? Is it run and skill or their competitive beast? And so I don't interfere at all. They just show me potentially what's coming and what they'd like to get through the door. And that list management, on our list, what do we need? Small forwards. And you guys have really highlighted with like some key position coming through as well, and probably if we looked at our rookie draft again, it would have nice if we get a young ruckman in the rookie draft and a young key position player just to balance off the list. But I'm sure we can sort of get the right mix going forward.
Now, I've got to ask you, Jack Anthony played his best game for the year down back for Subi. Did you request that?
No. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't, but...
Bondi did?
No, it's a good question, actually. Who requested? I think Jack...
He wanted?
Look, I think, we like to put everything on the radar. Clearly, Jack had been under, a lot of public opinion and pressure, and he had played a fair bit down back last year, and he looked at how we were selecting the team, and it was going to be tough for him to get back in. And just to settle him down and give him a fresh opportunity, we spoke about going down back, and he was really keen, and his club was really, compliant with that, and I think he played quite well. So
did he ask you?
For a little bit.
So he came to you?
Was that a mutual decision? It's like a mutual bust-up, isn't it?
Yeah, because, let's face it, I reckon the best footy he's played at Fremantle was last year when he went back.
Yeah, well, you got me at a disadvantage because I didn't know him as a forward at Collingwood that kicked those goals and coming over, just the dealings with Jack. But, he certainly sees, look, he's only young, he's only 23, and, I feel for him because he gives great effort and things didn't quite go his way, and, it's just such a brutal business now. You're under the spotlight. So, so we'll settle Jack down there for a while. He'll build his form, and I'm sure he'll get an opportunity again.
Good on you, Ross. Thanks for your time. Talk to you next Monday.
Brad. Thanks, Carl. Cheers, mate.
Ross Lyon from the Fremantle Dockers on the other side. Scotty Burns, coaches back to back.